Welcome back to all you lovers out there. We are back with Rafer and Kelly, and we were just about to get into the topic of conversation of Rafer being a flight attendant and always being on the road. And there's always this thing about, and although you guys are not officially in a long distance relationship, you do have a long periods of time away. So I think it kind of applies.
Right.
So I think it's interesting that you guys are married. There's one flight attendant who's gone all the time. How do you guys deal with the distance? And how long have you dealt with distance? First you was in hospitality, right?
Yeah, well I traveled a lot then too. And quite a bit actually. And that was part of the conversation about making the shift from corporate America back to being a flight attendant because I wanted to do some other things in the community.
Right.
And he said, well, you might as well because you're gone anyway.
Right.
And even if I wasn't physically gone, like he said, I was a workaholic. I would get up before him because my clients in Asia were coming online when at night, and then British Airways was one of my clients. They were online already, so when I woke up at 8 o'clock or in the office at 8 o'clock, they were already halfway.
They ready to hit you. Yeah, they waiting on stuff.
Yeah, they are. And so I would go into the office. He would get up, go shower, go to work, come home, and I'm still in the office. So he was like, "You might as well." And so making that shift. But outside of that, it actually works for us because it allows us the me time.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how important that is.
Yes, tell us why that's so important to you all.
For me, it allows me to recharge because I'm not, even though everyone thinks that I'm this bundle of whatever.
Bundle of bimbo?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the running, like every time I see you,
right. I actually, I love my alone time, and it allows me to recharge, especially when sometimes you're on, especially now that he's now a candidate. So I'm having to be on as soon as I step out the door. So when I come in the house, it's more of a sanctuary, and I'm like, okay, now it's about me, focusing on me, and, doing the things that I need to do, because, I still lead a very busy life.
Right.
Even outside of, just going to work at Delta and that's it, and coming back. So, I have dissertations that I'm writing, I have fundraisers that I'm planning. So, it allows me to say, okay, Rafer, when's your next trip?
Right, that's what he does.
Yeah. So that's what I want to kind of delve into, because it could be difficult for some people to say, okay, boo, like I love you to death, but I don't want to be around you right now.
Right.
So how do you
receive it?
How do you delicately say that to your partner, to your husband, and then how do you receive that?
That's what, don't you already know Kelly is not delicate? He already is saying, look. But really, that's a good question.
And maybe delicate is not the right word, but how do you say it without offending?
Well, here's my philosophy. And actually somebody, a friend of mine a long time ago, who was perpetually single, gave me one of the best pieces of advice about relationships. He said relationships are about two wholes that come together. And the only part of the relationship is the part that overlaps. Whole person, and the part that overlaps, that's the part of the relationship. But there's still two whole people.
Right.
And I think if you look at it from that perspective, then you still have to nurture those two whole people.
Right.
And then because some people like to say, oh, you become one and you complete me, and I don't believe that. We don't believe that. We believe that you nurture the individual, and then you work together on the part that is where you overlap and you work well together on. And so from having that foundation, it's like we have the whole people that we can nurture. He needs his quiet time. I go off to work, and then at work, my job allows me some quiet time when in between flights.
Right.
Like my next trip is going to be to Lagos, and then we're there for 30 hours. So I have some time to just relax, be in the room, watch CNN because he doesn't want to watch CNN.
So you can do the things you like to do. That don't have to be considerate of anybody else. It's just about you.
Right.
So how do you? What is it like when it's time away? You guys, do you communicate all day long, or is it like we don't communicate at all? Do you FaceTime a lot? Like, what is that? How do you function in your relationship when you guys are away?
We do both. I mean, we're constantly texting each other. He'll FaceTime me. He'll call and talk periodically. So, the communication lines are always open.
Yeah.
Always. So,
do you find that you know, because you want your alone time, you want your me time, but do you find yourself kind of missing him in that time? Or
Absolutely.
no?
Yeah.
But that's what helps.
It does.
That's I think for me, we're like, okay, we get to miss each other
Yeah.
in that time when we're separate. So going back to your earlier question, I think that we've talked to quite a few couples who go to work and come home to each other every day. And I think you really need to just have that conversation and find whatever your space is. Ideally if you can get your room where you go hang out, your little den, your cove, whatever.
Man cave or something.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Or bathroom, like one would not let me have my own bathroom.
Right.
Well, it has nothing to do with
I don't know what it has to do with.
your
We lived in this house at one
Okay,
point,
so I'm gonna tell you.
and there were like 5 bathrooms in the house, and he was like, "Why you need your one bathroom?" Cause there's 5, and I like my space.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say I take that personally, and I should know that it had nothing to do with me.
And he don't even like my bathroom etiquette, so
he keeps
I do.
A lot of things.
What was I gonna say?
I keep a lot of things on the counter.
Yes, you
I
do
keep
like that.
nothing on the counter.
You have the contacts and the solution and the eye drops and the toothpaste and the everything on the. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
this ain't about us though. Okay.
That's why I'm not saying.
But our new bathroom has 2 sides,
Right.
and then there's a part in the middle. It's actually a metaphor for our relationship. We actually have the sink that's over here that's on the rise, sink over there that's on the rise, and then in the middle part.
middle, that's the
that's
part
where
we
we
share.
share.
Yeah, that's a
Awesome. I'm gonna steal that because while I do personally believe that your partner does complete you to a certain extent, I also agree with you do have 2 separate lives that are joined. You shouldn't neglect the individual. So I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
really incorporate that to my.
I think with the because I also believe that your partner completes you in a way, but the way that I believe it is that I believe that one brings things into my life that those qualities I don't
Yes.
really have.
Yes.
So
Right.
that way he completes me, like he'll make up for something.
I
that
agree.
and that's that middle part.
Yeah.
But I still need to be a
middle
complete
part.
person by myself.
Yes.
But that middle part is like he brings something I don't have, I bring something he doesn't have,
Right.
and it's
That's the purpose of
That's a little
relationship.
Yeah.
I think that's the purpose of relationship is that you are 2 individuals helping each other grow into
Yes.
a better
Yes, you
person
are.
So when I say the complete part, the way you describe it is perfect.
Yeah.
I think that the challenge in speaking to a lot of single people is that they're looking for that person to be everything to basically make them happy, and that's the part where
It's a lot of
what I meant by the complete is that don't look for somebody to make
Don't let
Yeah.
somebody to make you happy.
Yeah.
Happy first.
Yes.
So that's good. Yes. You gotta be happy first. Nobody can make you happy.
Exactly.
When they go to work, then you unhappy. Like what happened?
Right.
And that's
There are
the
people
one
like
thing.
that.
They are. I
They're waiting
know.
by the door like
I know. They do. That's
Because
true.
that's the one thing that about me is that I'm not a needy person. So he's gone. I'm still fine because I know who I am. I am happy with who I am, and I'm fine with that. So I continue to do the things that I need to do whenever we're not in that shared space
Yes.
together. Because I still have a life outside of
of him.
Rafer and Kelly.
Yes, exactly.
So what do you say to those people out there who are in a relationship who don't necessarily travel a lot but are still needing that alone time but are having trouble communicating that because you're kind of forced into it. It's like my job allows me to do that. So what would you tell that couple on how to communicate those needs?
we're big advocates.
I need help on that myself because I'm not always. It's not always easy for me to tell him that I need a low time. It's only when I get frustrated, like I'll probably just be by myself for a minute. Then it comes out in another way.
Yeah, it comes
Right.
out.
It comes out negatively. Yeah.
I think that one of the things we're advocates for is that counseling.
Yes.
I think that everybody, even as perfect as you think things are, go get counseling because we're all unique beings, and there's no duplicate of whoever you are. There's no duplicate of one energy.
Right.
And so everything that you are, you grew up, your DNA, your history, your childhood, everything comes up to who you are today.
Yeah.
When you go to therapy, you have to get through those parts, and you don't have to go every
Boy,
week.
do
You go occasionally, a couple of times a year. It's fine.
Right.
To your point, get a safe word.
Yeah.
Get a word that when you say that, I saw this on one of the shows where they say they go into the dome or something, where you say, okay, we can say things within this space for the next minute.
Yeah, we call that truth moment.
Truth moment.
Yeah.
Truth moment.
Yeah.
So then you can go into that space, and then you can use the word or whatever to trigger to say, I need to say this that way, and it's safe.
Don't get your feelings hurt. Don't take it personal.
Or don't react right away.
Exactly.
How about that? Just don't even react right away. And then,
Well, we do need to start doing that.
Well, you know, last night, because last night I just trying to practice what I preach, and I was just feeling like I need not some space, but I need to just be out without G. You know, and so I was just like, you know, I'm gonna hang out, trying to cultivate friendships with people who are already in my life, but just appreciating that more. So I think coming from a space when you are in a great space, it's easier than when you're so frustrated. It's like, oh shit, will you just leave? Like, get the fuck out of my face. You know, it comes out. So just being mindful of yourself and regularly scheduling that alone time.
I think you should. I think everybody should. And then you should also have time for your best friends. You have to have time to go talk about your spouses.
Well, you know, let's break right there.
Oh,
because I think that's a great conversation. When we get back, we're going to talk about friends and how that affects your relationship and their relationships and so forth, because I think that's a major issue too. So we'll be right back.
He's great for not turning the mic on.
He's great for trying to point the finger.
Well, if you work in the camera, you don't turn the mic on.
That's where you go spam.
Oh, you need to go hang out and talk about me?
Let me know when you go back out of time.
We are back with our August couple of the month, Rafer and Kelly. And just before we went to the break, Rafer said something that I really, really want to talk about. He said it's important to make time for your best friends so you could talk about your husband. Tell me about that. What do you mean talk about?
Well, for me, it means you be able to bounce ideas, bounce frustrations off of your friends, and get them to weigh in and talk about, okay, you're getting on my nerves this week. Because if you're not getting on each other's nerves, we've talked to some couples who said, no, everything is perfect. I'm like,
somebody lying.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're not challenging each other, then what is happening here?
No, you need to. We all have our nuances. Lord knows I have mine. No comments. But no, we do, and so you need to be able to. That is an outlet. It's like any other thing. It's like a pressure cooker. If you don't allow some outlet somewhere to go, and then I can't talk to him about it, I need to be able to talk to my friends. And then when you have good friends who already know you and know the nuances, sometimes you just need to say it as that way of releasing, not necessarily do something about it.
Exactly. Now, how do you feel about that? And are you the same way? How do you feel about Rafer, like, venting to his friends about what's going on with you guys? And how do you get along with his friends?
Well, you know, the funny thing is that a lot of his friends typically side with me.
You need to go talk to Roger, okay? Because he is going to feel me.
Because they know how he is and know how he can be. And sometimes Rafe can be very rigid. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, and I can be just as rigid as he can be a lot of times. Especially if I don't feel like, you know, there's no give or take. So, you know what, if you want to be rigid, I'm going to do the same thing.
Right.
So then how do you get past that? Because, I mean, it's just, it's like I'm listening to us, because I can be so hard-headed and stubborn and just like, hell no, I'm not giving in. I am not going to, you're not going to meet me halfway. I'm not going to do it. How do you get past that emotion?
Just go ahead and tell him the same thing I tell him all the time.
let Kelly talk.
Well, what we do is typically he'll do the Rafer thing. He'll go talk to
The Rafer thing.
Yes. He'll go talk to his friends. I will talk to mine, and then sometimes we'll because we have an understanding of each other, a very good understanding of each other, and so we'll come back and then talk about it. And we're not so rigid as to, well, you know, I'm gonna not put my pride aside and fix the problem. That's not, you know, it may be 2 or 3 days before
Right.
This is cliche, but this too shall pass. It really does come down to that, because then the other part about it is that is that important enough?
Right.
Exactly.
In the grand scheme of
things,
Is it important?
is it materially impact your marriage and your relationship? If it doesn't materially impact that, then there's some things that you're gonna let go of.
Yeah. I think the one thing that's important that you stated was that you understand each other. So what that said to me is that you understand what he needs when he gets frustrated. You understand, even though you're not feeling him right now, you are able to respect his space and what he needs to get through that. And that's really tough to do, because when you're mad at each other, to not, continuously do this.
Sometimes you just want to be mad.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to be mad. And just...
And you move on.
He wants to be mad all the time.
That is not true.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Is it really that big in the grand scheme of things? Yes!
See, he's using the words back on you.
So that brings another question, because I'm all about growth and within the relationship, understanding the growth of the other person as well, and not holding the past against them. You know what I'm saying? We met when we were 30, now we're 35, 30, well, not me, but you. So how do you how do you not hold on to the past self and kind of always stay in the present, or do you?
I think we do. Personally, what I try to do is to give everyone a clean slate. And of course, through counseling, you're able to deal with the past that you've had and to kind of minimize it. You learn from it, then you move on from it. You don't dwell in it. And for me, I'm like, okay, you don't dwell in it. And every mistake, I never call anything a mistake or regret. I call it a learning opportunity. So once you get through those things and become the person that you are in the present, then it's really hard for you to hold on to the past, because you are saying that, you know what, I needed to go through that to learn. And so personally, I don't bring anything. I personally don't think I bring a whole lot from the past, only because I know how to deal with it, and I know where it is in the grand scheme of things.
I was just watching a video of Oprah on TO, and she said, there are no failures, there are no mistakes. It's just a sign telling you to go a different direction.
Exactly.
And I think that is to be applied to relationships. If we could all adopt that mode of thinking, like, we would never dwell in our madness or anger or fear.
If you really think about it, think of your past, especially your mistakes, as people call them, your regrets. Think of it you being chained to the bottom of the ocean, and the ocean is continuing to rise as time moves forward. Then how is that really helping you get to where you need to be?
How did you get to that place?
I got to that place in my 20s. I had to realize that some things personally that I could not control, and you had to really learn to accept the hand that you've been given, but you also make the best of that hand. So a lot of people tend to say, oh, well, life has failed me, or it's done this. It's
not fair.
Exactly, it's not fair. Well, in any sense of the word, to anyone, nothing will be fair.
Right. And it's like, what does fair mean?
Exactly.
It doesn't.
It's an objective ideal.
And people think that they are experiencing emotions and feelings that nobody else. You think God only allowed me to feel sadness or whatever?
Right.
We all feel it.
So we have to learn to put those in its place, put them in our toolbox, and build our house with them, as opposed to allowing it to weigh us down.
Right. If y'all don't take anything from this interview, take that. I mean, because that's a life lesson. Not just with the in the relationship. Like, your life will be better overall if you just adopt that mode of thinking. You're not a victim. You're just living. You're experiencing.
Exactly.
And just take it for what it is.
That's what the Erykah Badu song "Bag Lady" meant.
Yes.
You're not talking about Erykah
Oh
Badu.
Lord, you have awakened the.
When she said "bag lady,"
said
everybody, you keep carrying the bag.
You keep carrying around, yeah.
Put that bag down.
You're gonna miss your bus.
Yeah.
Because when they see you coming, they're gonna start running.
They're gonna start running. It's true. I mean, and you know what? Once you get past that cute, it's over.
Oh,
Exactly.
That only lasts the first.
It only lasts a little while. There's always gonna be somebody cute and cuter.
Exactly.
Not than me, but
And on that note, we are going to take another break, and we will be back with couple of the month for August, Rafer and Kelly. We'll be right back.
oh, good. Last segment.
Oh Lord Jesus, that was great.